Hello, everyone. It's just about the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us today for Don't Blend In, the top RPR tools to promote yourself. My name is Jo Teeter, and I will be your instructor. We are recording this, and so you will be receiving a copy of this, and we'll be get the set out to you as soon as we can. So, all right, just sit back, relax, and let's learn a little bit on how we can promote ourselves today. All right, so today we're going to talk about your profile and how you can update that, because when you have your profile information on the cover page of the reports, they're going to see all of your contact information plus your photo, and so they can put a face and a name and all of your contact information right together. So anytime you send out a report, that's going to be there for you. We're also going to talk about how to add custom PDF pages into all the reports that you can use, how to customize the report cover photo, and then how to promote yourself using our market activity report. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how to do that. And then also how to engage yourself as the neighborhood expert. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about social media and how you can market your listings and your activities into the social media realm. Again, there's two terms in RPR, if you're not familiar with that. One is an AVM, which is an automated valuation model. It's an estimate that's calculated using only the public record information. And then we also have the realtor's valuation model, or the RVM, which is an estimate of value based on the public record information, but we're also including all of your MLS active, sold, and off-market data. So it really gives us the highest accuracy of any valuation tool out there in the market, okay? Out there in the web. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and see what we can do. All right, so once you are in your area, your account, I'm going to go ahead and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a little gear here. And that is where you can access your profile. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Oops. And it's going to take me into my profile. Now, you want where my photo is, make sure that you add your photo. Where mine says change photo, go ahead and put your photo in there. It'll say upload photo. That way it will be on every single report that you have. In the top part where mine says RPR, if you have your company branded, then your information, your company logo will be up there. If not, you can go ahead and add your company logo. I lost my mouse here. You can add your company logo right here in this area. Also, down under the contact information, make sure you have your first and last name in there and it's correct. Make sure that you have a title in there. I am a licensed agent, so I have realtor in there, but you could put salesperson, you could broker, you could put your team name, and it's going to show up on the cover report right after your name. And then make sure your company address is in there. And then scroll down and add your phone, your email, and website. Make sure that that information is correct. If it's not, you can go ahead and change that out. So if this is my mobile number, I would change that out to mobile. You can add more by clicking on more if you want to add another phone number in there, and then you could add that as well. If, excuse me, if you do belong to more than one MLS or CIE, you could go ahead and choose the state, the MLS or CIE that you belong to, and then put in your agent ID and then click add, and then that data will also be in RPR so that you can access that information. If you also want your license number to be included on any of the reports, go ahead and choose your state, your license type, enter your license number, and then click add. And then that will also be added into the reports. If you're allowed assistants, you can add up to 3 assistants in here, and then they would be using your account to do the reports for you. On the right-hand side, make sure your time zone is correct. Now, I'm in Arizona, so I have the Arizona time zone. But if you're in the Eastern time zone, then you would just come down here and locate the Eastern time zone, click on that, and now you've got the Eastern time zone. Now, this is important. Anytime you send out a report from RPR, it's going to have the correct date and time. When we get into the reports, you'll see that it was sent. And it's also going to have the correct date and time that your clients opened up the report. So it's important that you have the correct time zone in there. Always come back up to the top here and click save. And then that will save everything that you have done on that profile sheet. Okay. Give it a second to save. All right, just a brief talk about settings here. You can set your new listings to anywhere from 30 days all the way down to 1 day. So if you have a very active market and you've got a lot of buyers that are needing properties, you can select the properties that you want that are new on the market, and they will be identified with a little N on the house. So you know that's a listing, a new listing within the time frame that you have set here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go home. All right, so that's how you update your profile. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is adding custom pages. So let me go ahead into the report tab here. And I'm going to click on the very first one and click on the more details tab. So we're in on the property details. And you can see here, I've got a custom page already in there just to show you what it looks like. And it doesn't make any difference which one you do. You're going to be able to see it on every one of our reports here, okay, all the way down to school report. Okay, we don't have one selected. But anyway, you can see that the custom pages are there. So it doesn't make any difference which one you added in, but you're going to be able to see this. Now, if you guys have questions during this webinar, please use the Q&A box. It's easiest for us to answer those questions in the Q&A box. I see that we do have some coming in on the chat, but if you have questions during this, please use that Q&A box. That's a great place to get those answered. All right. And I've got 3 others helping me with those, so we'll be good. Okay, so here is the property report. I've got 1 custom page in here, and I want to add some more that I've created. Now, they have to be in a PDF format, no larger than 10 megabytes. All right, so this is what that cover page is going to look like on the report. All of your photo and all of your contact information is going to show up on here. These are all the page elements that can be included on that report. So if there's something that you don't want included, maybe your work number you don't want, or maybe the office, whatever, you don't want on there, then go ahead and uncheck whatever information you don't want on that cover page. But this is everything that you can have. If you want all of them, then just select all elements. You can also do preferences here where you can have all page numbers showing on all the reports. The 2 largest reports that we have, of course, are the property report and the seller's report. I tend to use page numbers on those because when they call me and they want to know, how do I interpret this or what's this telling me, then they can just say, it's on page such and such. I can pull that property report up and go to the right page rather than them saying, okay, on this page, this is what's here, and then you got to try to find it. So you have the opportunity to add page numbers if you want. All right, then right below that is manage custom pages. So once you've created your PDF custom pages, and they no larger again than 10 megabytes, and you can have up to 5, your broker can also add in 5 custom pages. So you could have a total of 10 custom pages that can be included in every one of our reports. Brokers have the same criteria, PDF format, no larger than 10 megabytes. So some examples of different pages could be testimonials, it could be your green services, it could be your marketing services. Any number of things can be included in these types of pages. All right, so click on Manage Custom Pages. I've got my welcome letter in there. I'm going to go ahead and add one. So I'm going to click on Add. Find where you've got them located. So I'm going to go down here to my testimonials, click on that, and then click Open. And you can see that's been added. Let me add one more. I'm going to click on Add, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my green services in and Open. So now I've got 3 in there. You can put them in whatever order that you would like, just doing a drag and drop. You can change the name. So if I want to take out Joe's here and I want to take out the S, so I just want client testimonials here. Maybe I want to change Joe's to my green services. So no matter what you name it, you can come back in and change that name if you need to. You then have the opportunity to choose where you want that to be, at the beginning of the webinar, or at the beginning of the report, or at the end of the report. So let's say I want the welcome letter to be at the beginning, which will be right after the cover page of the report. And then let's say I want my testimonials to be at the end, and I want my green services to also be at the end. Now I can click on View Page, open it up, it's open up in a new tab, and I can make sure that I have the right page there for me. And then I could go ahead and proceed by either hitting that little trash can if I uploaded the wrong one, and then hit save, and that will be deleted. Okay. All right, so now I've got my pages in there. I'm gonna come down here and click Save. And now when I click on any one of these reports, you can see now I've got all three of them in there. No matter which report that I click on, I have all of those pages in there, okay? All right, so that's how you can add custom pages to the report. Now, let's go back home. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pull up a property here. Now, there are times when you want to do a market activity report on a specific home or a specific area. So let's talk about a little bit about market activity reports first. So here I have a property, and I'm picking on Columbia, South Carolina right now. So I've got this property pulled up here. And now when I come over here to create a report, I can come down here to the market activity report and click on the more details. And again, I see my custom pages in there. And if I want to use all of them, I can. Then I can also see what those pages are going to look like by hovering over that little information bubble. I can decide which one of these snapshots I want. If I want all of them, I'll leave them all checked. You've got the summary stats here. You've got the property details. And then of course, all about RPR, which I always like to include. You got your changes over the last 3 months, 6 months, all the way down to 3 days. So if I was marketing to past clients, I have a tendency to send out a market activity report every 3 months to them. If I'm working with a client right now and they can't quite decide if they're ready to get into the market search or not, then I may take it down to a month so that they can keep track of what's going on a monthly basis, and then they can decide if they want to go out and look at a property, or if they can see the market is changing and they're ready to start looking. It just kind of gives them a little more information on what's going on, maybe kind of dispel maybe sometimes what the news is telling them. So again, select the time frame. The other thing I do with market activity reports also is every week, if I have a listing in the MLS, every week I would come in here and do a market activity report for my clients, for my sellers. So what I would do is, if I was going to do it for the week, I'd put it in here, put the change types that I want, choose the property types that I want, and I'm just going to keep it there. I'm going to put the value range. So if I have a property that's maybe in the 400, but I just want to show them what's going on between 300 and 500 price range, then I could put that in, or I could leave that blank also if you want to use all price ranges, but you can select those ranges. Use the number of properties per status, whether it's 10, 20, or 50. I'm just going to keep mine on 10. And then sort properties by, and if this was something, if I was doing this for a client who is looking but not really looking for a property yet, I would probably do days active in RPR, because then it would show them all of the current listings at the top, the ones that just came on the market, the newest listings. So I would do days active in RPR. That would be my preference, and then they could see the newest listings at the top of the list. So again, you can make that decision on how you want that. And then I would come down here and personalize it. So I would go ahead and put in Mr. and Mrs. Teeter. I would type in my message here, and then choose my delivery method. You could email this right out to them, separated by a comma. I'm just going to go ahead and display it as a PDF and run report. And it's going to run the report. It's going to tell you how long it's going to take, and then I would go ahead and take a look at it when it's completed. Now, when you're doing a market activity report, All right, you can see I've already done one here for the entire zip code of 29229. So it shows the outline here, and then it goes in and shows them the estimated home values, whether the change of the last month, last quarter, last 12 months, and last 24 months, whether it's going up, down, or sideways. And then we've got the 12-month change in estimated value, so they can kind of see what the values are doing in the area, and then the change. And then here's the concentration of distressed properties in this area. You've got the sales price, whether it's going up, down, or sideways over the last month, quarter, 12 months, 24 months. Here's the list price, and you can see that they're going up in the last month and last quarter. And then you've got the activity summary stats. So this really gives them a lot of great information on what is going on in the market, breaks it down, and then they can see the activity. So here's the new listings that have come on, and you can see where they're located on the map. Gives them a little thumbnail information about it. So this really keeps them posted as to what's going on in the market in their area that they are interested in. Okay. So this is what that market activity report would look like. Now, let me go back. And this one isn't quite done yet. Okay. But let me show you one other thing here while that one's still being generated. All right, so let me go into the bigger map here. And let's just zoom out a little bit. So here is a property. And let's say this is a property that I'm either going to sell or it's listed. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more here. And I'm going to come up to the top and I'm going to go to show geographies. Come down to neighborhoods and see if where that property is located, that neighborhood is identified. If not, try the next neighborhood. If that doesn't work, try the last one. And you can see that one did work. So now you can see where my property is located. I can click on it and it tells me it's the Peninsula at Lake Carolina. So now up here, I can do a market activity report just for that neighborhood. Okay. So I could go ahead and click on market activity. And you can see now it's Peninsula at Lake Carolina in Richland County, South Carolina. It defaults to that market activity. Click on the more details. And then again, I can select what I want to continue to be in that report. And then go ahead and personalize it and then choose that delivery method. So you can get very specific when you're working with clients if they're looking for a particular area. You know, pull up a property, then try to figure out which neighborhood it's in, and then you're going to be able to see it. So if I go down here, here's the market activity report I did earlier for the Peninsula. So it outlines that nice neighborhood there, and then it takes me in and shows me this information. So I can see now what the estimated values are. I can see the 12 months change in estimated value in this area. So it just breaks it down into a little bit smaller, more bite-sized maybe, so that they know that there are no foreclosures or distressed properties in this area. Give them a little peace of mind there. Here's the sales price. They've gone down a little bit over the last 12 months. And then here's the list price in this area. Market activity summary stats, and so on. So that's how I keep people, you know, notified on what's going on in their own neighborhood as well as the zip code. It's just an easy way to let everybody know what's going on. All right, now, this report that I just did was for my seller. So every Friday or every Monday, what I would do is I would come back in and click on this little plus sign right here. And I would come in every Friday because I ran that report today. Next Friday, I would come back in and I would click on rerun this report, and it will update that report every week for me. And then I could go ahead and attach it and send it out to my client when it is completed. So you can download the report, rerun it, and share it on Facebook, which we'll do here in just a little bit. All right, so again, rerun, download report, share it on Facebook, but you can see here, down here will be where if you send it out to somebody, it's going to show who you sent it to, the date and time that you sent it. And then if they opened it, it's going to have an open tab and it will show you what time they opened it also. All right. Okay, so that's kind of how I handle the market activity reports. Now, the other thing is, if I'm farming a particular area and I've generated a market activity report for that area, and I want to post it to Facebook. All right, so here is my market activity report for the Peninsula. Let's just take that one since it's specific. And I want to post it on my Facebook page to that particular group. So I'm going to come in here and click on that little orange plus sign again. And I'm going to share it on Facebook. So I click on share on Facebook. It's going to open up to your Facebook tab. I can then decide, okay, where do I want to place it? So if I have a group, I could put my group or an event or your friend's timeline or any page that you manage yourself. Hopefully everybody has their own page, but you can place it on whatever feed that you want and then say something about this report. Did you know that property values are going up 5% in this area? Okay, or anything that can get them to open up that report and take a look at it, you want some kind of a call to action message to them. So again, just go ahead and place something in there, and then you can also select who you want to see that, and then coming down at the bottom here and click post to Facebook. All right, so I've got a question here. Let's go ahead and X out of here. All right, how do you narrow down the neighborhoods again? Okay, so let's go back. All right, so I've got a property pulled up here, okay? And this one is currently for sale. So this is what I did, was I went over to the map, okay? And I clicked on the bigger map because I'm not sure what neighborhood this property is in. So here is where my property is located. And now up at the top, I have geographies here. So if I click on geographies, here are the different neighborhoods that you have here. So here's a neighborhood. Let's just start with the intermediate. It's going to zoom out, and it may or may not, depending on your public records and how they've identified them. Okay, nothing is showing there. So then I'm going to go down to the minor, and nothing is still showing, and then hit micro. And that's where it shows. So now I could go ahead and click on that. I could see that's Peninsula. If I want to look at the next one over, here's Centennial. So I can pick different neighborhoods throughout and learn which ones they are just by clicking on the different ones. Okay, so that's the easiest way. And then I could go ahead and, let me go ahead and uncheck. Once I have one selected and I know I've got clients that live in that area, then I can come up here to the top and create that market activity report right from there. So here's Indigo Springs. If I want to do a market activity for that, just click on market activity. You've got Indigo Springs at Richland County. And then here's my market activity report. So that's the easiest way to do that. All right. So that's kind of the market activity reports. Again, I use it for sellers. I use it for current and past buyers. I use it for past clients to keep them posted on what's going on. I share it on Facebook and all the other social media sites. It's just a great way to stay in touch with everybody and keep them posted on what's going on. So hopefully that's giving you guys some ideas on how to do that. All right, let's go back. All right, when you're sending out a report to a client, okay, let me go down here and let me click on this very first picture. When you're sending out a report to a client, the very first picture that that listing agent has put in is the photo that's going to show up on the cover page of the report. Now, I picked on this one specifically just because of this picture. I always like to have at least the front of the house so they know what the house looks like. You know, and here I just know that it's the name of the subdivision. So what I would do is I would drive by the house and I would take a picture of the house. Well, since I don't live there, I kind of cheated a little bit. So I came down here and I found a picture that would work. Let's see here. All right, so I thought this would be a good picture. So I just did a screenshot of this. And so now I want to add it in and have this as my cover page of my report. When I'm sending this report out to a client, I would obviously drive by instead of doing that. So then I would come down here to upload photos. And I'm going to go ahead and click on 204 Harbor and open. And it's going to add that picture right into your account. Now, it only stays in your account. No one else is going to see it, except when you send out the report, of course. But I've got my picture in there, and now I want to make sure that it's going to be the cover photo. So now I'm going to click on Edit. I'm going to go ahead and click Use for Report Cover, and then make sure you hit Save. Now the cover photo is set. So now if I want to send out this report, so I'm going to come up here to the reports. I'm just going to do a mini property report in this case. So you can see all my custom pages are in there, all of the pages that I want to include. And then I'll come down and personalize it and then choose the delivery method. In this case, I'll just hit Run Report. And let's just go ahead and pull up a report here. Whoops, go down. Okay, here's one on property report. All right, so now you can see that that picture, that's the picture that I have chosen to be the cover page rather than the name of the neighborhood. All right, so it just kind of gives you a little bit different feel and probably more interested in looking at the property once they see the house as it is. So that's one thing that you can do. Now let's go back and let's pick on a property that's not currently on the market. And I'll just click on Crestwater here. All right, so now I've got a property that is off market. The last time it was for sale was back in 2011. And you get the Google Street View. Now, this particular one has the side of the property, so I really can't see the house. Even if I move it around, I can't really get a good picture of that house. So obviously, I would have to drive by, take a photo. So, but in this case, I went over here to compare historical photos, and I screenshotted one of these photos. So to use that as my cover photo, again, you're going to come down here to where it says Upload Photo. And I'm going to do Crestwater. Click Open. Adds that photo right in. And you can add as many photos as you want. You know, because this is an off-market property, if I've already been able to go through and take some pictures and I don't have it listed yet, I could go ahead and add 7, 10, however many photos I want. And then they will all be included in the report when I send it out. It's usually on the last page of the report. But again, make sure you click on Edit, click on Report Covers, and then always click Save. And now my cover photo has been set. You can also add notes too, and that will also be included in the report. So if you click on Add a Note, just updated the kitchen with new flooring and new counters in granite or whatever, okay? So you can put that in, you can include it in the reports and then click Add. And what it does, it gives you a date and time stamp in there, and it will show up in the reports with that date and time stamp as well. You can always edit and you can also delete if you don't want it in there, but it's just a great place to put your notes. If you don't want them included in the report, then you could come up here and do just updated the kitchen. Oops. Kitchen with new flooring and counters. And spent, let's say 10K. So again, just notes for you. And then I always uncheck that box so that they can't see any of that information. It's just my information. Obviously, I'd come back in here and clean it up and make sure that I've got it all cleaned up and spelled right. All right, so those are just kind of a couple of things that you can do to add photos. So again, if you've got any kind of property and the first picture is either a Google Street View, Google gets it wrong a lot of times where you've got cars or people in the driveway, you've got the side of the house, the back of the house, you've got a tree that blocks the entire house, you can't see it. So in that case, just drive by, take a photo, whether it's on your phone or on a regular camera, upload it to your computer. If you have your mobile device, if you're using your phone, you could actually pull up the address and then go into photo and take a photo right there, and it will be included then and show in your account as well. So you can do it right from your phone if you'd like. Okay, so that is a little information on how you can customize any of your reports. If you want to customize it where you have the entrance to the subdivision as the first page, if you're doing a market activity report for that neighborhood, then that could be the picture that you can upload and put in there, just an idea. So there's a lot of different ways that you can really customize the covers of our page, our reports, and make it stand out to the rest of the people that you're marketing to. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is neighborhood, becoming the neighborhood expert. So there's several different ways to do that. So if I click on neighborhood here, we'll just leave it on Crestwater here. It's going to default to the 29229 zip code, but you can see what the estimated home value is. And last time it was updated, you can see the change over the last month, the change over the last 12 months, and then all about, whenever you click on that, it's going to give you a definition, a source, and how often it's updated. You can also uncheck any of these and see what it is, and then hover over and get the data. So take a look at that information. A lot of good information here. Population of children by age groups, adults of age groups, population of adults by age groups. You've got the housing tab. And as we get into the social media side of promoting yourself and what's going on in the area that you are working, you can get a lot of your great information that you post on social media right here in RPR and in these tabs here. So here I'm on the housing tab. So you can see here the zip code, Columbia versus Richland County versus South Carolina versus the USA. And you can start talking about what's going on in your neighborhood. Become the expert. Did you know that prices are going up 3.4% over the last 12 months in this zip code? Or did you know that 70% of the people who live in this zip code own their homes? 30% are rentals. Just little things like this can make a difference and get people to start contacting you and asking you to help them with their real estate needs. So again, you've got the median list price, you've got the price range of a home sold, price range of square foot, size of homes, age range, and number of bedrooms. So a lot of great information in here. But you can do a screenshot of this, and I've got a PowerPoint slide that I've done that for you. As you can see, you can take a screenshot and then post it to your social media sites. Let me go back, and let's go back to my Harbor one here. All right, so here we're back on that one that's been listed. And if I want to, again, know about the neighborhood, I can click on neighborhood here. But if I want to go into the neighborhood tab and find out specifically about this neighborhood, I'm going to go back to my micro neighborhoods. And I'm going to click on that neighborhood. All right, so now I've got this neighborhood identified. I'm going to go ahead and just search in that geography, and it's going to change it up here at the top to the Peninsula. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a copy that name. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to go over to the neighborhood tab. So I want to know everything that's going on just in that one little neighborhood. So I'm going to click on neighborhoods. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in, because that's how your public records has identified that county or that area. I'm going to leave this on exact, and then I'm going to go ahead and search. And it's going to pull up all of the same data. So now I see here's the Peninsula, what the median home value is, the change over the last month, and the change over the last 12 months. And again, I would start posting if I had a group that I was working with on social media for this neighborhood, then I would let them know on a monthly basis or weekly basis or quarterly, whatever, however you stay in contact with them. I would start giving this information into those social media sites. And then you've got the housing tab here again, and I can see what the estimated changes over the last 12 months, price change, median age of home sold, own versus rent. You've got the people tab, which has also got some great information on here as well. But you can see, here's the Peninsula, here's Richland County, South Carolina, and USA. So it really breaks it down into the 4 different areas. So here's the educational levels, the male to female ratio, the median age, population, and this is all coming from the Census Bureau. So again, you can click on the About, and it's going to show you where this information is coming from. So it won't be long. The census, I think, is either done or almost done. So this will all be updated when they have the information. Income brackets, occupational categories, even presidential voting pattern here. You've got the economy, and you also have the quality of life. So if you've got a lot of people that are relocating to your area, and so you want to tell them how much annual rainfall that you guys get in that area, or what the elevation is in feet, number of days of full sun, how much snow do you typically get? This is a great place to find that information and then post it and let everybody know what a great place it is to live in this area because of the weather. And then you also have the average commute time, how people get to work, and then also the walkability scores. So there's a lot of great information in here. Take advantage of this. Use it to market yourselves, to get yourself out there. Let people know that you know what's going on in the market, and take advantage of all this data that we have in one location for you guys to use. All right, so now I'm an expert in this area, okay? Let's talk about marketing our listings and this information onto our social media sites. So let me go back to my PowerPoint here. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook first. When you're posting to Facebook, they have found, from the research that we've done, that the best days to post is Thursday and Friday. And then the time of the day to post, 1 o'clock for the most shares, 3 o'clock for the most likes, and then your highest activity is typically from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. that they are on the Facebook. Some tips on sharing: always ask your friends. Whenever you're posting, ask your friends to repost to their sites, because then that makes that spread out just a little bit further, and then people are going to want to like your page and start following you so that they can learn more about the area too. And it just gets your name out. And then when they need those services of a realtor, they know that they can contact you because you've been very forthcoming with all of this information. You want to use unique content. Be creative. You've got a lot of information in RPR, but there's also a lot of information out there in your area too. And then also have a variety of media. Have videos, maybe post a video of yourself working with a buyer or working with a seller, and maybe take them through the steps of how to buy a house nowadays, how to do a virtual tour. I mean, there's just so many things, but you got to kind of think out of the box and think, okay, what's the best way that I feel comfortable promoting myself out there? All right. 80% of it should be fun. Talk about lifestyle, talk about your interests. You'll be surprised how many people want to work with somebody who likes to quilt or likes to kayak or likes to hike. You know, show them the interest that you're in. If you've got kids and you're homeschooling the kids right now because of everything that's going on, talk about some of your trials and tribulations of homeschooling with the kids, and maybe you can get other parents to kind of come up with some ideas and start throwing out questions and getting that feedback back and forth. And then every so often, 20% of it should be selling. Then talk about real estate, what's going on in the real estate market, new listings, changes, open houses that you're going to be having. Talk about the demographics, the economic life, yourself and your services. So again, have some fun with this, and you'll be surprised how many people will reach out to you just because you're having some fun with all your social media sites. So for 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, that's really all you need to do. You don't need to spend every single day doing this. So set your calendar. So at this day, at this time, I'm going to post, and then you can do it, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. That's it. Okay. Some other tips that you can use on Facebook for engaging your clients: always recognize their birthdays, always respond. You can send them a little picture, happy birthday, anniversaries, graduations. always know that you're there for them during all these times. Always recognize your clients on real estate anniversaries. I always like to do that on the first year, the second year, up to the 5th year. Sometimes I forget after that, but I always try to stay in touch with my clients every year to make sure everything is okay, sending a personal message out to them at that time. The other thing I provide to my clients also is a CMA. So as the years progress and they've been in the home for a while, I always provide them with a CMA so that I can show them how their property has changed, has it, increased in value. And then I also provide that market activity report so they can see what is going on in their neighborhood as well. So these are a lot of things that I will do with my past clients that are in my database. I always keep them posted, maybe once a year with a CMA or twice a year, depending on the market and how active it is. And then also providing that market activity report that I showed you, every quarter or twice a year, however you want to do that. I did mine on quarterly basis, especially because it was so active around here. But it's just a great way to stay in touch. Take it off of social media. I mean, you can always find other things that are going on in your social media feed and then forward it on as well. That's another great way to find out what's going on, especially if there's fundraising events or something like that. You can, forward that into your group and let everybody know what's going on. But always follow up. Anytime someone says something, always respond so that you know that you're active. Posting from Facebook, again, like I showed you, you're going to click on that little plus sign right there, okay? And then it's going to take you in here and you'll click on share on Facebook. Now, the 2 reports that I would recommend sharing on Facebook is the market activity report or the neighborhood report. I would stay away from property sellers, mini property report. There's just, unless you're really particular about what pages, there can be some information in there that could get you into trouble. So I don't want that to happen. So you're pretty safe with the market activity and the neighborhood reports. But again, to share, just click on share on Facebook, take you right into your account. You'll say something about that, put it on your own timeline or wherever you want to put it, and then go ahead and click post to Facebook. Share on timeline. Got a few extra slides in here, but that's okay. But then again, who should see this? Now, the neighborhood information. Remember all that neighborhood information I showed you that you could take a screenshot of? Here's one thing that an agent has done, and I'll show you the post in a second here. But what they've done is they've gone in and they've figured out the 5 secrets about home values in Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina, median estimated home value is the median list price, and this needs to be updated. Values have risen. So I would go in and find all of that data and then fill this out, and then I would post it to my social media sites. Always have a call to action. So considering a move, let me send you a free property evaluation, or a CMA in this case, and then put in your information, your photo, all of your contact information, and then even a link to where they can go in and look at all of your listings. If you've got your own website with the listings on it, you could have that in there as well on your posting. So they can click on that and go right to your listings that you have posted. Here's what an agent did in Peoria, Arizona. So they just put in median estimated home value is, values have risen 7% over the last 12 months. Homeownership accounts for 71% of the dwellings. So they just kind of went through and picked out some of that information and posted it. So it's a very simple way to get this information out to them. Here's another one, 5 things you want to know about your city. Population has increased, the median age, the largest segment of population, 70% have earned an associate's degree, and 5,100 residents earn between and the amount. So again, it's whatever you want them to know, but we have all of that data right there in RPR. So this is what they did, 6 things you'll want to know about the life in Peoria, and they put that information in. Neighborhood tab, again, here, Peninsula and Lake Carolina in Richland County. You could go ahead and do a copy and paste and put that right into your Facebook tab. So again, go ahead and copy it, paste it right in there, and you'll have it right in there. Flood zones, that might be something else. You know, if you're out there in the Myrtle Beach area, you can go ahead and do a flood zone copy and paste and put it into your Facebook account like this agent did. And then you could see here on Palm Coast, and they talk about, do you want to buy near the coast? What's my risk of being in a flood zone? Or what is close to the coast and not in a flood zone? Let me help you find your coastal dream home. So get them to contact you with more information. You just want to put it out there, and so they can contact you. So that's just kind of a few examples that we have found. Here's another one where they have a video that they have posted, and then a little bit about what they do to help their clients. Here's another one where they posted out in Yorba Linda, a new listing that just sold. Here's another one where they're having a cycle for survival that they posted. And then here's another one, a new nice listing. And then Instagram. Instagram's another good place to post. The best days to post would be Monday. The time of the day is, peak time is about 3 to 4 in the afternoon, 7 days a week. And then your highest activity is typically from 3 to 4. Please don't buy your followers. Get them to come to you by posting things and asking them to follow you. You know, and you start following everybody else, and then they'll start following you. But please don't buy them. You're going to get more business if you just get them to do it naturally. Post your photos and your videos. You know, always encourage engagement. Get your client to participate. So contact all of your clients. Tell them that you're now on Instagram. Ask them to join you. Of course, there is an auto share between Facebook and Twitter. So from Instagram, so you could post it to Instagram, and then it will automatically share it to Facebook and Twitter. So that'll save you a step. And then again, show personal. You know, maybe you're out kayaking, or maybe you like to quilt, or maybe you like to hike. Put those kind of photos in there. Show that you are a real person, that you are a normal person, but you're there also to help them with real estate. And your day-to-day to real estate is another great way to stay in touch, letting them know what you do on a daily basis out there and how you can help them. Always respond and reply, and always keep everything up to date. Here's some examples of Instagram posts that people have posted. They posted this home here, another post. Can't find as many there. And then Twitter, again, best days to post, Wednesday and weekends. Best time, 1 o'clock for most retweets, 12 and 6 for the highest click rate. Business to consumer is probably the best way to do it. Always retweet. So if you find something good, always retweet so everybody can follow you that way. Always mention the individual or company that you're commenting about, and make sure you use their Twitter handle, the @, and engage with your followers. Use that hashtag to form leads when you're doing this. It's another great way to build up that following. And again, here are some examples of some posts. Here's a new listing here, just reduced in Houston. Here's another one in Katy, Texas. And some of these you may or may not want to do, but it just kind of gives you an idea of some of the things that agents have done across the country. And so that kind of gives you an idea. Hopefully you guys can think out of the box and come up with some new ideas as well, other than what I just showed you. But it's just a great way to get yourself out there. I just want to make sure that you guys understand where you can find all this data, and then how you can go ahead and post it. Can we go over the best times to post on Facebook? Absolutely. Let me go back. And let's go back up here to Facebook. All right, so there we go. Best days to post, Thursday and Friday. And then the time of the day, 1 o'clock for the most shares. Apparently everybody takes their lunch hour during that time. 3 o'clock for the most likes. And then the highest activity is typically from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. All right, so we talked about adding your photo, your contact information and logo, and that's in the profile, in that little gear in the upper right-hand corner. How to add custom PDF pages, how to customize that cover photo. so that when you email it out to them, they have a nice picture of the house, how to use the market activity reports, the social media, and then also how to become that neighborhood expert. So what I'd like you to do today is go ahead and create one of our reports like the market activity report and go ahead and post it to Facebook today for your zip code. Try just your zip code, or if you have a following on a neighborhood or you're farming, then create a neighborhood group and then start posting to that group. But give it a try today to see how easy that is. You can access RPR at rpr.com, or you can go to our blog, blog.rpr.com. That's also a great place to find all of our resources. If you do need help, go ahead and contact us up at this number. We're there 24/7 for you. If you have any problems at all, we're always there for you. And then our support links are at the bottom of every page. We also have an RPR Connect group, over 30-some thousand agents in there. That's a great place to also to learn how they're using it, and that can maybe help you also in your area. Now, the other thing I want to point out also is, again, you've got this little scholar cap that can also help you, no matter what page you're on, you're going to be able to see that. And then, not sure where that other is, okay, anyway. And then the other thing is, I also want to let you guys know that on September 17th, we're going to be spending an entire hour talking about CMAs and how to create a CMA in RPR. And then on the 30th, we're going to talk about farming, the 5 C's of successful farming strategy, and how you can farm an area and start marketing to them. So those are the next 2 classes. Hopefully everybody will be able to sign up and attend those 2 classes. All right, let's see. Is there anything else that we need to go back over? Yes, the video will be available, and we have been recording this, so you guys will get a copy of this. Thank you, Mike. All right, anything else that you guys need me to go back over? Hopefully this has been helpful and that you've learned a few things. So as soon as I get the recording, I will send it out to Mike, and Mike will get that sent out to everybody else today. The upcoming classes will also be recorded, so you'll have access to those as well. So hopefully everybody can join me next week for the CMA class. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Valencia. Nicole. Perfect. All right, everybody. Stay safe, have fun, have a great weekend, and we will see everybody next week.